to today's lesson. The learning objective is as followed: to know how to identify the roots of a quadratic function by solving a quadratic equation. The success criteria is as followed: 1. Able to rearrange quadratic equations. 2. Able to find factors of a number. And finally 3. Able to factorize quadratic equations. Here is the success criteria. Give the questions a go. Remember to pause your video. Great job. Well done. Make sure to give yourself a mark out 6. Alright, so when we're solving problems using quadratic equations, you can estimate the roots of the equation by finding where the curve crosses the x-axis. If you want to estimate the turning point of it, you need to find the minimum or maximum point of the graph. And not to find the y-intercept, you need to make x equal 0. Okay? Make sure to make notes of this. Pause the video and make a note of this in your books. Okay, we're going to be moving on now. So, in order to identify the roots of the graph, we need to factorize it. And I'm going to show you guys just how to do it. So, what you need to do is first take a look at the constant of your graph. Okay, so basically the number that doesn't have any x's attached to it. Okay, so you're going to look at 12 and find out the factors of 12. Okay, you need to find out the factors of 12. And you need to find out which combination of the factors of 12 will add together to give you -7. Alright, we're doing this because obviously we're factorizing it back into the brackets, and we need to see actually when we multiply out the brackets, will it be correct? So we look at the different factors of 12. So we can tell that the factors will have to be negative because when they add together, they're going to have to equal -7. So we're going to start listing the negative factors of 12. So -1 and -1 and -12, -2 and -6, -3 and -4. So let's look at the combination, see which ones actually add to get 7. -7, sorry. So that equals -20, that equals -13. All right. That equals -8, and that equals -7. All right, so this is our combo. So now we're going to put this into our brackets. So when we factorize it, it's going to look like this. X minus 3, close bracket, open bracket, x minus 4. And that's going to give us our answer when we factorize it. Okay, so with this, a couple examples, we're just going to be factorizing it. That's all we're going to be doing because it is quite difficult. All right. So with the next I do question, just factorize it. Okay. Make sure to pause your video and give yourself some time. Okay, we're going to go over the we do question now. So we're doing the exact same steps again. Sorry about that. We're going to do the exact same steps. So factors of 12. And we know that when they add together, they're going to have to equal to -8. So we're going to look at the different combinations. Obviously, we can just look at these combinations here and see that the -2 plus the -6 equals -8. Okay, so we know that's the right combination. So when we factorize it, it's going to give us the answer y equals bracket x minus 3. Sorry, 2, open bracket x minus 6. We can always check if our answer is correct by actually multiplying it out. Okay. So I'm just going to show you how I can prove that our answer is right by multiplying it out. I like to do the grid method when I multiply out brackets. when you add them all together, what you end up getting is x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 12, and you simplify it and you get x squared minus 7x plus 12. Great, so this is a great way of checking if your answer is right. Just going to rub all that out. Okay, so if you remember when we factorized it, it equaled this answer. So we're just going to do one more step on these questions. We're going to actually find out what the roots are now. And the way that you do that is you make y equals 0, because obviously the roots are where the graph crosses the x-axis. And when the graph crosses the x-axis, y equals 0. So we do that. Okay, so we're going to make each individual bracket equal 0. So 0 equals x minus 3. And 0 equals x minus 4. And then we're going to make x the subject to find out what x equals when y equals 0. So x equals 3. So the coordinate for one root is 3, 0. And then x equals 4. So the other coordinate is 4, 0. And that's how you find out the roots. So given that we've already factorized the redo question, can you help find out the roots for the redo question? So just find where the graph crosses, at which coordinates the graph crosses the x-axis. Right, have a go. So make sure to pause the video and have a go at this. Right guys, so great job. Let's see your answer. Yes, the roots would be 2, 0 and 6, 0. Great job. Let's do another example. So here the question is actually harder, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So we're going to follow the same steps that we did at the beginning. We need to find a combination of the factors of 6. Okay, so they're both going to have to be positive. So we have 1 and 6 and 3 and 2. So with this, what's going to be different is that actually we have a 5 there. So when we have it in bracket form, one of these factors are going to have to be multiplied by 5 to give us 11. So let's look at the different combinations. So we can do 5 times 1 plus the 6, and that gives us 11. Okay, and we can also do 5 times 3 plus 2, and that gives us 17. So obviously this first one is right, and we're going to write this in the brackets now. So y equals 5x, open bracket, open bracket, 5x plus 6, close bracket, open bracket, x plus 1, close bracket. So the reason why the 5 can't be, why the 1 and the 5 can't be, the 1 and the 5x can't be in the same bracket is because when we multiply it out, the 5x is going to have to be multiplied by 1. Like I said before, we can prove our answers right by expanding out the brackets. So we have 5x here and 6x and 1. So 5x times by x is 5x squared. 6 times x is 6x. And 5x times 1 is 5x. 6 times 1 is 6. And when we add them all up together, we get 5x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 6. Simplify that, we get 5x squared plus 6x, plus 11x plus 6. Awesome. So I want you to have a go at this question here. Right, so you're going to need to look at the different combinations. So a little tip is that actually you can try if instead of multiplying that by 3, try multiplying the 5 by 2. So have a go at it, and remember to pause your video. Alright, so let's have a go at this one. So we're going to now again look at the factors of 6. So we look at the different combinations. We already know that these two combinations won't work because they don't equal 13x. So let's try a different combination. So 5 times by 6 plus 1. That gives us the answer of 31, which is wrong. And let's try the combination 5 times by 2 plus 3. Alright, that does give us 13, so that is the right combination. So now we're going to put it in the brackets, and what we end up getting is 5x plus 3 times by x plus 2. And that is right, and we can actually check if the answer is correct again. So my advice to you, always check if the answer is right or wrong, okay? So let's multiply it out. So 5x squared, 10x, 3x, and 6. And when we add them all together, that does equal 13x. Great job. So now that we can do it, we can actually find from what we factorized the roots. Okay? We can actually find the roots of it. So make sure to pause your video and actually copy down the notes as well. So maybe go back a couple of seconds and copy it down if you haven't. So when we factorized it, it equaled 5x. It gave us this answer. And now we're going to make y equals 0 to find out the roots of the graph. So 0 equals 5x plus 6, and 0 equals x plus 1. So we're going to rearrange to make x the subject and find out what the coordinates are for the roots. So one coordinate for the roots is -1, 0, and the other coordinate for the root is going to be -6/5, 0. Okay, so those are the two roots. These two are the roots. So I want you to pause the video and try out finding the roots for this graph. So obviously we find out what it looks like when it's factorized. So just have a good go at it. Great job. The roots are -2, 0, and -3/5, 0. Right, let's do the next example. Okay, so we're going to factorize again. So we need to find a combination of factors of 6 that would equal -11x when one of them is multiplied by 5. Alright, so from this already you can tell that you're looking for negative factors of 6. So we have -1 and -6, -3 and -2. Okay, so now let's look at these combinations and see which ones, when we multiply by 5, they add up to -11. So -5, 5 times -1 plus -6. That does, in fact, give us our -11. Okay, so we can now factorize it. So y equals 5x minus 6, open bracket. Okay. And again, we can multiply it out just to check if our answer is right, but we're not going to do that this time round. Okay, so let's actually find out what the roots are from this. So 5x minus 6. And make x the subject. So x equals 6 over 5. So therefore one root is 6 over 5, 0. And we're going to do the same for x minus 1. Make x the subject, so x equals 1. And the other root is 1, 0. Right, so pause your video and have a go. So I want you to do both steps. Find out the factors. I want you to factorize it and to find the roots. So pause your video and give yourself as much time as you need. Great job. This is the answer. Right, so let's try this one out. So we're going to be doing the exact same step, looking at the factors of 6, that when one of them is multiplied by 2, we get -1. So looking at already, we're going to have the factors, trying to find out the factors of -6. We're going to have one factor that is a negative and the other one that's a positive. So -6 and -1, positive 1. -1 and positive 6. -3 and 2. -2 and 3. And we're going to look at the different combinations that when they're multiplied by 2, that they will give us -1. So let's give it a go. So -2 times by 2 times by -6 plus 1, that gives us the answer of 11, -11, which is not our answer. Let's try this one for her. So 2 times -1, and that gives us plus 6. That gives us positive 4. Let's try this combination. 2 times -3, that gives us -6 plus 2, that gives us -4. Let's try this one. -2 times by 2 times -2, which gives us positive 4 plus 3. That in fact gives us our -1. Perfect. So we know which combination is the right one. So now we can factorize it. So y equals 2x. 2x plus 3 and x minus 2. So now we can actually solve for 0 and find out what x equals. So we're going to make each individual bracket equal 0. So 0 equals 2x plus 3. Right, so one root is -3 over 2. And then now we're going to solve for x again. So the other coordinate will be 2, 0. All right, I want you to pause your video and have a go at the we do question. Okay, here we go. Here's the answer. So make sure to mark your work in green pen. Right, so we're going to be moving forward now. So with these questions here, what I would do, I wouldn't even bother factorizing it, to be honest. I would just go straight to making it equal 0. So I'll do 0 equals 4 minus 16x squared. Okay, and then after I would, basically I'm just trying to make x a subject here. All right. So 16x squared equals 4, and x squared equals 4 over 16, and that can be simplified down to 1 over 4. So x squared equals 1 over 4, and then we want to make x a subject, so we're going to square root it. So x equals plus or minus a half. Okay, so that means that it has two roots. One of the roots are a half 0 and the other one is negative a half 0. Right, so pause the video and have a go at the we do question. Great job, this is the answer. Okay, here's another example. So we're going to factorize it as usual. So we can put 2x on the outside, and then in here we'll have 3x minus 2. And then we're going to make them equal 0. So 0 equals 2x, 3x minus 2. So 2x equals 0. So therefore x equals, x can in fact just equal 0. So one root is 0, 0. Okay, and with a 3x minus 2, you make that also equal 0. So x equals 2/3. So the coordinate is 2/3, 0. So have a go at the we do question. Make sure to pause your video. Great job. Right, so here is the questions for you to do. Make sure to pause your video and give yourself some time. Great job. So make sure to pause your video and give yourself some time to do these questions as well. Right, mark your work. Right, you worked so hard this lesson.